Now, last week we talked about like some of the potential draft picks. We talked about Mel Kiper's mock draft, and do we need an offensive tackle, a guard? Do we need a DB? Do we need are we looking at a quarterback? Are we looking at a big time balling playmaking receiver? We all have our thoughts. We all are play GMs in our armchairs on Monday morning. You know what I mean? But only Joe Shane and Dable and the Giants organization really know what they're gonna do. But it's fun to speculate, right? Mm-hmm. This is what we do know. We do know Joe Shane recently has said that they are in the market for a quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. He's been down at the Senior Bowl this week, right?
Yes.
And he hinted that it's very possible if he sees a QB that he falls in love with, that he feels like guys are all pro. He didn't say any names, but like a baller, like Caleb Williams, or Drake May, Penix, whoever, you know what I mean? Jaden Daniels. He's not ruling out taking him, right? Everyone thinks he's gonna get a receiver. Some people think he's gonna get a offensive tackle. But like I said, he's down scouting in Alabama in the Senior Bowl. Our QB coach, Shea Tierney, is down out there, right? So obviously they're looking for talent, right? DeVito, he's here. Daniel Jones, ACL. I don't think he's going to start the season. Some people think he will. He's going to be here next year, right?
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor won't be here next year, right? So if he was to draft a QB, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, only question is, are you getting a QB that you're potentially looking at to be the future starter after next year? Because they could cut Daniel Jones. I think they'd have $20 million dead cap space, something like that. I'd have to look that back up. Or are we going to get a QB that's going to be pushing DeVito and them as the backup, right?
Yes.
I'm hearing names like Devin Leary.
Mm-hmm.
I looked him up a little bit because I'm not the super college guy, so I had to go back and look these guys up. Really good arm. Kind of gives, Brett Favre kind of vibes. He's like a gunslinger, throws a lot of shit at the double coverage, small windows, shit like that. I heard that, they're high on him. Mike Kafka, who's been in he's been down at the Shrine Bowl. Mm-hmm. And if y'all don't know what the Shrine Bowl is, it's basically like an all-pro game from seniors and underclassmen.
Yes.
From East and the West.
Yes.
So it's basically like a college Pro Bowl. Like a college Pro Bowl.
A Senior Bowl, like a Senior Bowl.
Right, like a Senior Bowl, right? Yeah, but it's not the Senior Bowl, it's the Shrine Bowl, right?
So it's tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, let me play this. Yeah, let me play this clip from Mike Kafka. I hope I got it because I said I had the fucking BT clip. Let me play this clip, and I wanna come back and I wanna see what y'all think, man. Here we go.
What kind of knowledge can you get about these players? You can obviously watch them on tape during the process. You can interview them. But what else and what more can you learn actually being in meetings with them, being on a practice field with them?
Yeah, it's great. You get an opportunity to see them face-to-face and be in a meeting with them, which is rare. So you see how they learn. You see how they interact with the other players. You see how they interact with the coaches, how they take coaching. And then you get an opportunity to talk to them. We have a full team of scouts, and our GM, Joe Shane's here. We got a big contingent out here that we can get some good information and actually meet with these guys and interview them. So there's a couple different levels to it, but I think we're in a good spot.
Now back to the.
Listen, real quick, and I'll defer to you guys. Like I said, you heard names like Devin Leary, John Reese Plumlee, who's a QB, not really a pocket guy, more like a runner, not too great in the pocket, but. What I took from that clip real quick of Kafka, and we know Kafka is up for some other jobs, possibly, might not be here. I like Kafka. Some people don't. Mm-hmm. What I like about them going down there and actually coaching is that, it's like them almost getting a jump on the combine. You know what I'm saying? Because at the combine, you interview guys, you see their talent, you go through all the rigors. I get all that. But now you're down there talking to them in the locker room. You're getting a sense of who they are. Are you a good guy? You kind of seeing their work ethic up close.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you're getting to know them on levels that I don't know if you can really get totally from the combine. Don't get me wrong, combine is good, but we've seen a lot of dudes rock the combine and be bust. We've seen dudes be bad at the combine and do very well, man.
Yes, sir.
Q, I'm gonna go to you first, man. What do you think, man? What are we talking about?
No, I think it's a great idea, and I think it's an awesome opportunity for them. Obviously, man, when you get to look at that talent firsthand and be able to see what you want, because like there's obviously some really good quarterbacks in the draft, but it's not like we had the last pick, with sixth pick. We're gonna be able to get something from there. So, and that's important because what I say, like we're kind of always a little bit on and off with some of our picks. We have a lot of hits, but we also have a lot of misses. Let's keep it a buck. And if we do draft a quarterback, which I said that I wouldn't do, but I could see them doing it because they're gonna have Daniel Jones back, right? He's gonna come back after ACL injury. There's going to be two issues. Number one, we don't even know when he's coming back. Number two, he's probably going to come back disgruntled. And probably even number three, we don't even know if he's going to be the same Daniel Jones.
Mhm.
Is he going to be mobile? It took Saquon Barkley a year and a half to come back from his knee injury. What do you think? How long do you think it's going to take for Daniel Jones to feel confident in running his ball again? Because that's one of the reasons we had him here. He wasn't really throwing his shit like he was supposed to. A lot of people forget a lot of his first downs that we would get and reasons that, wide receivers would get open because of his reason to extend the play. And I just don't know how well he's going to be. So I think I do see them getting a quarterback and have him sitting behind, Daniel Jones for the year and seeing it where it goes, and even if we lose Kafka, it gives that new quarterback an additional year to sit behind a brand new coordinator, try to get acquainted with the playbook. And then when it's time for him to go, it's not like it's a rookie jumping into the gun with a brand new playbook and system, because the game's going to be moving fast already. But as long as he, has that 1 year to sit back, that comfortability is always what we see these guys sit back. It happened with Jordan Love. It happened with Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of Patrick Mahomes, like when they have that time to sit back and get acquainted with these coordinators and the playbook and sit behind these quarterbacks and learn a little bit, it doesn't even take that long. But that's always an advantage. And right now for the Giants to see the type of talent that is going to be available to them on draft day, that's we were saying that they were dysfunctional and that they don't know what they're doing, but at least them taking this opportunity to do this is showing me that, all right, we're not here to give up. We know we got a lot of things we got to fix, and they have to start somewhere, and it seems like that's where they're starting.
Man, I'm hoping they thread into bigger and better pastures, because this past season was a hard season to watch him play, man. Like, it was up and down, and now since the season is over, you see all the bad blood that was going on behind the scenes. But I feel like whatever goes on, they'll probably move on into bigger, better things, because like I said, I'm gonna reiterate it again. I feel like is that Dable and Schuhen, I can never say his name right. Schuhen. Shane, Schuhen, whatever. They're trying to bring their own people in, guys that fit in their system, their locker room, their culture. Wink was a great defensive-minded coach, and you can see a lot of guys flourished even towards the end of the year. You know what I mean? But those two guys didn't mesh. They both too big personalities, and usually that doesn't mesh. The last time, me being a little bit of an NFL historian, you saw two big personalities that weren't getting along and won something together was the coach for the Bears and their defensive coordinator. Who was the coach? What was the coach again? What was his name? Ditka.
Oh yeah, Mike Ditka.
Ditka and Buddy Ryan. Remember when they won the Super Bowl and the team split up and helped both coaches? Yeah. You never saw that before. So that's like the last time I seen two big personalities win anything together. So with that being said, the whole Kafka situation, I don't know what's going to happen with him, because I feel like he kind of, like I said it a couple of times, he kind of went under the radar with a lot of things that was going on, because I feel like there was too much bad blood between Wink and Dable. He kind of went under the radar, and he was almost out the door too recently. Like, wasn't he interested in the Seattle coaching job until they gave it to somebody else today?
Yeah, he's a candidate. He's a candidate for things.
He's a candidate, but they gave it to the DC, the defensive coordinator of the Ravens, McDonald, something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's out of the question. But I saw him in interviews when you were talking about the Shrine Bowl. I saw a couple of interviews. He was interviewing picking the minds of a couple of guys in the Senior Bowl. Like one guy that I saw that he was talking to was a linebacker, Curtis from Penn State. And he said, yo, the Giants are one of my favorite teams, or my favorite team. So, that could be something. He, like you said, he could be reeling these guys in, looking at before look at these guys before the combine to see what we do, to see what we move forward. But
these guys are good. Like, so one thing to consider too, man. If I thought about to say, if he does take a quarterback, you kind of reset the clock on their future, and I'm talking about Shane and Dable's future, because now it's like, okay, we got a new quarterback. They got to learn a new playbook. He's a rookie. He has to get accustomed to the league. Now you kind of extend their clock. Okay, so they're not on the clock next year. Oh, that buys themselves some grace, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So that might be a way to extend their shit, because right now, after last year 3, in my opinion, they're on the clock as much as I like them. Another name I'm hearing is Christian Mahogany, offensive lineman from Boston College. I looked at him. He looks decent. We definitely need help in that interior line. The only question with the interior line is, the only question with the offensive line is like the tackles. More like it's more like you go out and get them in free agency, because they're more of a skill position, and the drop off from the first round to the second round is immense. I started looking at some of the historical shit. Offensive tackles from the first round to the second round is a big drop off. Guards not as much. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we go in the draft and we get a guard, because we also don't forget we have the Leonard Williams pick from Seattle.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So maybe in the next round we go out and get a right guard. You know what I mean? We know we have the Evan Neal problem.
I just can't wait for the draft, man. There's a lot of ways the Giants can go with this draft. I can't wait for that, man. In April.
Yeah,
it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be interesting, yeah. Like, because I don't really feel like they're going offensive tackle. I really feel like it's either gonna be a quarterback or a wide receiver. If they do something different, then it's gonna be real surprising,
Yeah, I just see when I'm looking at what the Giants are looking at, what they need. There's only one guy that one big name offensive tackle that's out there, and that's Joe Alt from Notre Dame. That the Giants go. There's 3 guys from what I've seen from the reports. There's 3 guys the Giants are really, really looking at the 6th pick. Joe Alt, the offensive tackle, and the 2 LSU boys. The quarterback Heisman winner Jaden Daniels, and his running mate, his wide receiver, Malik Neighbors.
I like Malik Neighbors, my G.
I like Malik Neighbors too, man. But remember,
fast, create separation run. He's fucking go up and get the boys athletic. I like him a lot. I would love to see him on the other side.
Yeah, Malik played 13 games in this past season in college, 89 receptions, 1,569 yards, 14 touchdowns. So he averaged 17.6 after the catch.
You said yards after catch. I was getting ready to say that yards after catch. Yeah, that's the big thing, man.
That's
insane.
And they're saying
crazy.
That's a lot of yards.
They're saying that his strengths are acceleration, his speed, his yards after catch ability, and his route running. His weaknesses are his catch radius, consistent separation, and on vertical routes. But this kid is 6 feet tall, 20 years old, 200 pounds. Like, he's solid. He's
a little bit taller, but I'm cool with that.
That's why I like this kid. I showed y'all the stats yesterday of this kid. Keon Coleman.
Deon Cole, yeah.
Keon Coleman from FSU. He's 6'4", 50 receptions. I mean, 600. He didn't have the all amazing season that the other guys. He's not a big name, but he's 6'4". He goes after the jump ball. He's not scared. Great route runner. He's a beast. He's 215, 6'4" pounds, 11 touchdowns. You know what I mean? He didn't have the yardage because of his quarterback. FSU wasn't a big team out there. Like, oh my God. But I feel like he's a good one out there. And who else? I was looking at? We were talking about Roman Dunze. You know what I mean? From Washington. 6'3", 215 pounds. You know what I mean? Had 1,640 yards, 13 touchdowns. Also 17.8 after catch. Average. I felt like that's good. His weaknesses is his size, his strength. He could change the direction. His yards after catch ability. The only weaknesses he has, he's not a good jump ball guy. He's not a good guy to catch in traffic, and he has average explosiveness. So that's the only thing.
Absolutely. We're gonna find out. I'm itching, man.